Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Heart First. My name is Ifoma.
And I am Jess. Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Yes, we. I love that we don't really ever know. I mean, sometimes we know what we want to talk about, but we're gonna just kind of flow. But something um, that kind of has. I was thinking about it yesterday, and just kind of what I see and I guess how I feel about myself. I'll go into this. So, like, when I am playing on social media, I love it because it's fun for me to see just what other people are up to. Like, the creativity, how people are doing their own little spins on certain things is just community building. I realize that there are so many people because I'm also seeing people like don't come into comparison, and like I think that's something that we could talk about today is one, how we intrinsically feel about ourselves and why we feel the need to compare ourselves to other people outside of ourselves. The whole comparison trap in social media. I do think it's really, really healthy to rest and take breaks and like delete your account once in a while to come back to yourself. But I also feel that if we can all get to the point of fostering this energy, growing with it, learning with it, of comparison and why we feel the need to do that, it would benefit us all, like in the long run, you know?
Absolutely. No, that's such an important topic. And I feel like that's really important for the collective because that's something, whether you're a teenager, obviously I feel so much compassion for young people, just starting with. I can't imagine. I feel actually grateful not to have had to grow up
With
with
social
this
media.
technology because I think that would have been so hard. Meanwhile, um, well, this is related because it's right, social media, but it's like so grateful to Gen Z right now for, I mean, can you imagine, first of all, growing up with COVID? Like growing up,
Everything.
imagine being a teenager and having to deal with that. And then, like, now where the world is moving, sorry, I'm, I'm taking us adrift subject wise. It's not about comparison. I guess I'm immediately flipping to the upsides. But yeah, comparison is super it's human nature. I think when we are less sure of ourselves
Oh, for
and
sure.
less embodied, and part of that I think is I want to say growing up, but not everyone gets there as grown-ups. There's tons of people doing that. I mean, if you see some people like our age using crazy ass filters that make them not look like they even have a pore. I mean, I'm all for the good light. I'm all for like you do it, you do you. So I don't mean this to sound judgmental, although I guess it does. But it's like the more we embrace who we are and how magical we all are, the less we compare. And by the
Yep.
way, do whatever you want with the filters. Like I definitely use filters too. I just feel like when it's coming from a place of fun and like, ooh, like it's different than the vibration of, oh my gosh, I don't look good, so I have to like, um, I mean, and that's again that's a human that is just kind of shows how we feel, and that's beautiful too. I mean, so there are days when you feel, you know what I mean? It's like the process of being human. It's
No,
an
for sure.
ongoing thing.
Like there's definitely like I love makeup. It is so fun to use it
Same.
as a tool for like self-expression. Like today I
I'm
was
like,
feeling like, yeah, like I'm like
just,
I want a red lip today. You know, like this is how I'm feeling on the inside and I want and the same thing with clothes and fashion, right? Like I
yeah.
think these are amazing and hair. Like I just chopped all my like
I
it's just
love your
so
haircut. Yeah.
thank you. I just think these things are amazing tools for us to further express who we are, our insides,
Yeah.
our creativity. I think what can be dangerous is if you're doing these things to mask how you're truly feeling on the inside, which would lead to more comparison. Like, I think it's it is all what it is, right? Like it's not good, it's not bad, it's just part, like you said, part of the human journey. But it
Right.
almost feels like to me deep conditioning. What was that? Was that a thumbs down or a thumbs up?
It was a thumbs down.
Okay, spirit. But it just feels like deep conditioning that we carry through generations, through our family lines. Um, I'm still laughing at the thumbs down.
I know, me too.
Maybe they're like agreeing, like, yes, this is bad. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it does feel like deep conditioning that we just carry on and carry forth. And the only way to like break that cycle, so to speak, is if we start to do that inner work. Like the it's kind of funny. This is the card I pulled today. It's integration. But I was gonna say the integration of that, the masculine energies, the feminine energies, and like balancing like what we're seeing in society and taking from other people, but like really getting deep to who we are without all of the noise. Because then you can
Absolutely.
have true integration happening with all of that, but we have to hear ourselves first and know what we like first. I remember when I was teaching yoga, because I've always loved makeup, I would wear makeup and I taught hot yoga. So, like, you're sweating, and I'm like, oh, well, this doesn't work. And then I became more conditioned to the environment that I was around, and I completely stopped wearing makeup despite it being something that I've loved since a child,
Mm.
because of the environment I was in. And then like now I just find myself like, okay, I feel really, and I'm glad I had that moment in time, right? So that was, it turned into positive conditioning for me because it allowed me the time space to be like happy and okay with who I am without makeup, right? Like I was able to build self-confidence with a naked face when society has been telling me that like you need makeup, women of a certain age are like aging, like all of these negative
Yeah.
emotions and
Mhm.
whatnot. So it really let me be good with who I am and as I show up. Whereas now I'm kind of getting to the space of like, well, I'm not wearing makeup to like hide myself. I'm just wearing it for fun. Like, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like there's a difference, but
Yeah.
like I don't know. I guess the takeaway I really would love people to come to is you are amazing as you are. You are beautiful as you are. The more you can love all of yourself, the bumps, the bruises, the weird quirks, the anxieties we all carry, like the more we can love all of these shadow aspects of
Mhm.
ourselves, um, the less any of the outside shit actually matters. The bullshit,
Totally.
the
Yeah.
comparison, like all that.
That reminded me, that's what I wanted to talk about today that I mentioned to you the other day because you had left me a voice message and you were like saying how, and I forget if it was saying something you wanted to do or something you are a master of or whatever, but it had to do with like owning and loving your shadow, loving the parts that are unhealed. Like, because that is kind of like what it is being human. Like, no one has it all figured out. We all have moments, whether it's comparing, whether it's physical beauty or career success or, desiring this perfect relationship you think someone else has, whatever those comparisons are, like looking and yeah, recognizing our divinity, like no, like feeling our magic, or that we all have, that we all are divine magical beings totally evolving. And if we could just, like, wouldn't it be amazing if we like embraced where each one of us is at and at every given moment. And like that's why I feel so grateful for our friendship, in that I feel like you and I see each other, like
Our souls.
we see our souls, and we kind of honor the journey and the bruises and the scars. And like, actually I feel very emotional, so I know that's truth. But like, it's such a, like, it takes us away from comparison, and it takes us a step toward this integration, toward this unity, toward this awareness that we are, at some level, regardless of someone's awareness of it, we are one. And
Yeah.
we are like, we're these, right, these meat suits, whatever, as you say.
Yeah, like
But like,
we're all
it's
like
so,
family, just
we
walking each
are,
other home. Like we're
yeah.
all human brothers, sisters. I mean, yeah, we're all just walking each other home. That's how I kind of feel. But what
Yeah.
I was saying, I was talking, I was actually having a conversation with my sister, and we were just talking about, like, I had made a comment. I'm like, I feel like where I am personally in my lifetime, like, I have never loved myself to the caliber that I love myself right now. Like,
Mm.
everything, my quirks, my idiocy, like, all of these little all the things good, everything in between, like I am so madly in love with the human being I am and who I continue to become. And it's like,
Mhm.
it's so freeing. Like it's so healing because I feel like I've always loved myself, like aspects, right? But like then not fully. Like I would still eat shit food that would affect me and make me feel bad, or I would drink too much alcohol and I'd feel, and this is not a judgment, this was me in my personal life.
Sure.
For me these things don't work. It was literally aiding in my chronic illnesses that I had experienced, and I was choosing things that weren't of my highest and best because there was an aspect of myself that wasn't in love with myself and wasn't, like, it's like I was self-sabotaging myself. Like I didn't, there
Hmm.
was a part of myself that didn't want me to be my best, most embodied self when I was
Yeah.
choosing these things and these behaviors. Again, this is my personal story. And then I
Hmm.
was saying to her, my sister, how not only do I feel that, I feel like even the things that I have insecurities about, because I am a human, I definitely have insecurities. I'm like, I am so confident in my insecurities, meaning that like I just own them. Like they may be a part of me now, but they're not going to be forever.
Hmm.
But I'm like confident about it because like I don't know where this energy came from. I do not know why I feel this way, but like it's just like, if I don't know I don't know how to expand on that, but like in the moment I'm like, yeah, I've never been more confident about like my insecurities or my body being bigger, or like for me, and like like all of these little things, or like that sometimes it takes me too long to do one task, or that I can be, but I'm like confident about it. I'm like, okay, it just is what it is right now. Will it be this way forever?
I,
Who knows? Probably not. It'll shift, but this is
I
just
think,
who I am, and that's
yeah,
okay, and I
that's
love it.
wonderful. And I feel like for anyone listening or watching us right now, um, not, it's not a challenge, but I propose, how about, like, think about something in yourself that you do feel insecure about, and ask yourself, you know, how can I, like, how can I, like, love this about myself? Like, what can I do to, like, embrace this? Because we carry as humans so much shame, and that's why we hide these parts of ourselves, right? It's like, so it's the, we just, again, it all, I feel like it all comes back to self-love, not recognizing our divinity and our oneness and the magic of it. But it's like easy to say, but like integration, to come back to that card, right? It's like integrating these things, like it's okay wherever you are. Sometimes we think we've healed
Mm-hmm.
something, right? Like, I think I'm so confident, I am so confident, but then there'll be a moment or a person or a whatever, this lesson, this situation that will arrive, which clearly is coming to, teach something. And I don't even like the word teach somehow, because it sounds so school like, but it's like, it's that process of, yeah, coming back to ourselves, and like, and yeah, and not carrying this, wanting to kind of avoid or just pretend, even at an unconscious level. Sometimes, like when it comes to authenticity, and I know I've spoken about this before, but like, I mean, I had a blog in like 2015 where, um, I wrote about authenticity. I started like getting into this stuff like more consciously, and I would think, and I was being authentic for myself at that time. But the thing with awareness
Mm-hmm.
and consciousness, which is so massively like on turbo speed right now and elevation on our planet, is like, the more we know, that's when we need to change something. That's when, not need to, but that's when we have the opportunity to like kind of go deeper, you know? Like
Yeah.
there's things that in terms of being authentic that sometimes it was a conscious thing, you know. For me, it's always been, I've one of my blocks has been feeling like a failure, which I thought was something that started from this lifetime, from being told I wasn't smart or good enough or and whatever, into my 30s through my dad. And I thought it's originated then, and then I, you know, got into this stuff and realized it's like a theme through many lifetimes, which was both validating and also kind of like, you know, I don't know, I gasped, you know, but it's like there are these things that each of us is here to learn, which all come back to loving ourselves. Whatever your things
Yep.
are in this lifetime or through lifetimes, like the more we know, the more we have the opportunity to shift and to have this faith and inner knowing that we each of us is. If you're listening to this podcast, for sure you're on that journey. um, you are
Hmm.
part of, I mean, I don't, everyone's part of it, I'm not trying to exclude anyone, but the more aware you are, the more power you have to help
Yep.
yourself and to help others. And like, how fucking amazing is that?
And also, this is not stuff that, like, give yourself grace and the utmost compassion, because this is not something that happens overnight, right? Like, I literally woke up like that day I was talking to my sister. I'm like, wow, I find in this moment, like, that's wild, because it wasn't like that just a month
Hmm.
ago, or like even, I don't know, like, it just, one day you'll be continuing on this path and doing your work and showing up for yourself. And even if you stumble, and like in my case, like if I stumble and I eat something that isn't in alignment for where I am on my healing journey, like, give yourself
Hmm.
compassion and grace. And I never strive for perfection, never, because what the heck is that? I just strive to do my best every single
Hmm.
day. And that's all you can really do is and ask of yourself. There are going to be amazing days. There's going to be days that you feel like you're taking 5 steps
Hmm.
backwards. And that's perfect. And that's amazing. And that's beautiful. And it's exactly as it needs to be, because that it's a balance,
Hmm.
right? Give a little, take a little, give a little, take a
Totally.
little, and just do your best. I think the most important thing is to consistently and consciously make the choice to show up for yourself every single day, even in the smallest of ways. Like, so for me, when I was chronically ill, getting out of bed was my win for the day, because that was literally all I
Hmm.
could do. Whereas now, you know, we're around hustle culture, this and do this and go and go and move and move and move. I really, I'm very, I'm choosing every single day to be like, okay, I can do this much, and then I'm going to rest. I can do this much, and then I'm going to rest, and I'm going to be okay with that, because I I think my biggest, like, where I am right now is just like really honoring myself and taking care of myself, and not not letting myself go back to burnout
Hmm.
like I have in the past, or choosing not to take care of myself for the sake of getting a project done or something else done, and then I had longer term effects of being sick. So let your just know that, like, wherever you are is exactly where you need to be. Your journey is going to look different every single day. Just work on giving yourself compassion, work on giving yourself permission and grace to just let it be what it is, without feeling, without bringing in all these
Yeah.
outside things, and like the pressure and feeling like it needs to look different and like you need to be in a different space. Really let yourself just take a deep breath, surrender to where you are right now, and know that it is in perfect divine timing and that you will eventually get to where you are going. But you have to give yourself the time and space, and like foster that patience muscle, right? Like, work on that patience muscle, and like, it is what it is. Let it, it will be what it will
Yeah,
be.
absolutely. Tune into and that where that space and where you are is going to change all the time. So
Yep.
know that like in Ifoma, in your case, your your lived life experience in this lifetime has like taught you this major lesson, which is, I think it's part of our mass consciousness shift that is so major right now, is getting out of the hustle culture. And obviously you feel and have an awareness that is greater based on your lived experience of experiencing this burnout and experiencing chronic illness and these things that, you know, sometimes, not unfortunately, I don't want to say anyone needs to go through that, but it's an opportunity for growth, like an understanding that is so, I think that's such an important, we should, obviously we'll do another episode about burnout, and avoiding that, and just constantly tuning in and deprogramming. And then also realizing that, or recognizing that, for anyone listening, if you do feel that way, if you feel burnt out, and in whatever that means to you, however that resonates, or whatever you're going through right now, honestly, whatever it is, that you will, by listening to your intuition, by following, where not from an external thing, but going inward, listening to yourself, like things will get better, things will shift, and trusting and knowing that you won't always be in this space of whatever it is, you're going to shift through it. Things are going to get better. So at some point you will be able to let go of these things, but through the process, like tune in. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You have to listen to yourself. And for those of us listening out there who can't decipher what your intuition is, because sometimes you're in the middle of it that you can't hear, just start to schedule breaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let yourself, okay, I'm going to be busy and do this. And maybe the second half of the day, I'm going to let myself read a
Yeah.
book or take a bath or veg. But be mindful with scheduling downtime, because there was so long on my journey that I could not hear and I'm a highly intuitive person, but I was so in the middle of my shit, I could not hear my intuition very well. But like consciously I would, which is, it's like it's like nuanced. Like I was listening to my intuition by scheduling breaks, but because I couldn't tap in the way that I can now, if that makes sense. That's the tool I use to get there, if that makes sense.
Totally. That's,
So schedule the breaks. Just
yeah.
give yourself time. Like you don't have to be turned on
Yeah.
all the time. We were not designed to be constantly
Yeah.
on. And right now, more than ever in our society, we're just seeing everything turned on, people comparing, like their lack of
But I
integration
feel like I'm not
of all
seeing,
the
I feel like I'm
spaces.
seeing, like by virtue of like things like what we're doing, I am seeing like things change a lot. So I don't want to reinforce the old matrix. Let's
True.
like we are creating the new
Things
matrix. Yeah.
100%, but it's still in its infancy stage, if that makes
Completely.
sense. So the other stuff still is there. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all I'm
Yeah.
saying is like, we are moving and we are
Yeah.
creating this new, but if you just schedule time
Absolutely.
off, let yourself integrate all parts of yourself, so you can start to foster that connection with yourself. You can start to foster that deep self-love, that comparison no longer is a thing in your life.
Yeah.
Like, unless if it's like healthy comparison,
If
maybe,
it, yeah, if it
because there
like
is that too.
motivates
Like,
you in a positive way, and you're like, if, but no, it's not comparison though. Then it's inspiration, right? Ooh, I just got, I think I did that. That's how I did it, maybe. Anyway, just to wrap it up, I love that we are talking about this today. So thank you for the idea, Ifoma, for comparison.
I think that was Spirit.
Thank you,
So you're
Spirit.
welcome.
Thank you, angels. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We wish you a beautiful week.
As always, find us, email us at heartfirst.podcast@gmail.com, and check us out on YouTube and Spotify and wherever else you listen to podcasts.
See you soon. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.